The final one of the week comes from Wassa. All right, Wassa. Father Simon and the members of the clergy. This deed takes... There's some Spanish involved in this.
Oh, is there?
Now, for new arrivals, this is Matt's strong subject because you studied in Spain.
I did, yes.
Okay, so if I get it wrong, just jump in.
I'll jump in.
This deed dates back to December 2000 and involves primarily my then Spanish girlfriend, but also quite a large number of airline passengers, a particular Spanish airline and their ground staff in both Madrid and Heathrow. I'd met my girlfriend when we were working together in a restaurant in Stratford-upon-Avon in 1998. She returned to Spain in early 2000, but we continued the relationship by long distance and took it in turns to fly over to see each other monthly. Keen to be accepted by her family, I did all I could to demonstrate how I was embracing Spanish culture. Now, this confession relates to a particular day, Dia de los Santos Inocentes.
Well, yeah, that's near enough.
What would you say?
Dia de los Santos Inocentes.
See, that sounds great. Say it again.
Dia de los Santos Inocentes.
Which means?
Day of the Innocent Saints.
Okay, they're equivalent to our April Fool's Day on December the 28th. Okay? My girlfriend was flying... That's the important thing, that it's their version of April Fool's Day.
Okay, okay.
My least favourite day of the entire year.
Okay.
My girlfriend was flying to England on December the 28th to spend her birthday partying como los ingleses.
Yes, that's almost exactly como los ingleses.
Which means with the English.
Like the English.
Oh, like the English.
Yes,
okay.
yes.
So it struck me that this was a great opportunity to come up with some form of prank. Ugh. Heart sinks.
Editorialising.
You wait till you hear how useless the prank is. By some kind of undivine intervention, I hatched a rough outline of a plan. I would wind her up about her flight being delayed. That's it.
Wow.
To be honest, it being their national prank day, my weak delivery skills and her general disdain for my frequently transparent wind-ups, I didn't fancy my chances of pulling this off. On our usual pre-flight calls several hours in advance, I did my best to sound concerned, and I asked her if she'd heard the news of the flight chaos going on in Heathrow Airport and whether she knew if her flight to the UK was delayed. She seemed pretty nonchalant about everything. Wasn't really concerned as there hadn't been anything on the Spanish news. Oh, really? I said. Well, apparently they've had to do emergency roadworks on all the runways at Heathrow Airport. And as a result, they've put in a contraflow system and there's a 50-mile-an-hour speed limit on planes taking off and landing so that they can handle all the flights without diverting them. It's causing absolute chaos. It's all over the news here. I exaggerated. Well, I didn't exaggerate. I made everything up, basically. After a couple more minutes of idle tattle and pre-departure pleasantries, I wished her a good flight and hoped to see her at Heathrow in the evening, internally sighing at my useless ploy. It wasn't until a short while before her check-in would have closed that I received a surprised and unexpected call directly from her mobile. It transpired that she was actually more than a little concerned at what I'd told her early on. So she had called the aforementioned airline for an update on the situation to find out just how long her flight would be delayed, what exactly they were doing about it. The eager-to-please rep was clearly panicked, worried about what she'd heard and the implications for all her other passengers and all their other flights, and diligently assured her she would take immediate action. It turns out that due to the time proximity of the flight departure, the rep had taken it upon herself to take swift, evasive action and had somehow convinced the appropriate people to cancel the flight's takeoff slot for fear of the high costs associated in missing a takeoff slot, whilst they sorted out this almighty mess. She then called their ground crew at Heathrow to, I can only assume, angrily demand an update on what on earth was going on. I'm guessing by her sheer barrage of Spanish verbal exertions, the British ground crew, flustered, promised that they'd contact air traffic control to get an update on the roadworks at the airport and report back immediately, which they duly did.
Oh, wow.
Needless to say, that returned call to my girlfriend confirmed no such issues at Heathrow Airport, only the fact that as a result of them, her flight was now actually delayed as a consequence of the inquiries and the subsequent actions, and it was all my fault. I really hadn't considered that this hastily thought-up prank would have such a wide-reaching effect, impacting many more people than I could ever have imagined. My girlfriend was enchanted and highly amused by me having hooked her with my jape, as they say in Spain. Her father, so impressed by the elaborate plot, embraced me further into the family, which I later had to escape from, and openly recounted the tale on many subsequent family gatherings.
Wow.
So here's the thing, Father Simon. I don't seek forgiveness from either of them because I consider them accomplices. But here's the roll call from whom I do seek forgiveness. The airline, to whom my jestful actions financially impacted and cost many thousands, possibly hundreds of thousands of pounds.
Wow.
The passengers of the flight who were delayed for many hours because of my prank. The poor airline rep whose time I wasted and reputation I tarnished. And my girlfriend's father who had to drive her to the airport at high speed to make the check-in time after her lengthy inquiries about the make-believe problems. In my defence, I never imagined, and even now struggle to comprehend, that my prank would actually have been believed in any shape or form by anybody. I'm sorry for the inconvenience that it caused to so many people, especially at a time of year when people just want to get together, do they not? All of that said, I still chortle at the whole affair. Well, you may well chortle. Let's see what everyone else makes of Wassa's confession with extra gratuitous Spanish. What do you say, Sister Susie, the voice of responsibility from the pub?
Well, Wassa, I did like the Spanish, and it also just made me laugh that when Matt does Spanish, he goes deeper and a bit quieter.
Oh, yeah. Part of me.
Maybe you
Everyone's
should
five
just do
a day,
the sport
right there.
in the Spanish, maybe. But I just, there was too many people that were involved for me, and you wasted a lot of people's time, and for that reason, I can't forgive you.
It's certainly the most expensive confession that we've had for a
Yes.
while, impacting thousands and thousands.
Yes.
Kind of. What
Yes.
do you say?
I mean,
brother from another gutter.
Normally, I'm not a fan of pranksters.
Never.
I'm not a massive fan of those. However, I mean, you know, when you listen to what he was actually saying, that they're doing roadworks on the runway, 50 miles per hour
Yeah,
limit.
you can only take off 50 mile an hour.
I mean, that's obviously wrong, isn't it? And how anyone involved in the ground crew believe that is beyond me. So I'm going to say, I mean, it was so obviously nonsense that I'm going to have to forgive.
Are you saying the girlfriend was gullible and it's kind of her fault?
I'm going to say the girlfriend was gullible. I'm going to say the rep was gullible. And I'm going to say the ground crew was also gullible.